Harry had always considered himself unremarkable, an average human technician aboard the Meridian Station, a diplomatic outpost floating in the neutral zone between 17 different alien civilizations. His job was simple: maintain the environmental systems, keep the oxygen flowing, and stay invisible. Humans were still newcomers to the galactic community, only 43 years since first contact, and Harry preferred to keep his head down. The observation deck was his sanctuary. Every rotation cycle, during the station's simulated night, he would come here with a thermos of coffee and watch the stars. It was the one place where he could be alone, away from the curious stares of species who still found humans fascinatingly primitive. That particular night, Harry was running diagnostics on his portable terminal when someone sat down beside him. He glanced over casually and froze. She was stunning. Honey-colored hair cascaded over her shoulders, catching the starlight in a way that seemed almost deliberate. Her skin had an unusual luminescence, a faint golden shimmer that marked her as non-human, though her features were remarkably humanoid. She wore simple gray clothing, a tunic and pants that could have belonged to any station worker. "Beautiful, isn't it?" she said softly, gesturing toward the viewport where a nebula burned in shades of purple and blue. "Yeah," Harry managed, his voice cracking slightly. "I come here every night, never gets old." She smiled, and Harry's heart did something irregular in his chest. "I don't get to see views like this often. My schedule doesn't usually allow it." "Busy job?" Harry asked, trying to sound casual while his mind raced. He couldn't place her species. The golden shimmer suggested Aurorian heritage, but her facial structure was all wrong. Maybe a hybrid. "You could say that." She pulled her knees up to her chest in a surprisingly human gesture. "What about you? What brings a human to the observation deck at 0300 hours? "Peace and quiet mostly, and the stars." Harry hesitated, then added, "I'm Harry, by the way, environmental systems technician." "Honey," she replied, extending her hand. Her grip was warm and firm. Harry noticed the slight webbing between her fingers, definitely not human, but the touch sent electricity up his arm nonetheless. They talked and talked. Honey asked questions about Earth, about human culture, about why Harry had left his home planet for the cold metal corridors of a diplomatic station. She listened with an intensity that made Harry feel like he was the most important person in the universe, not just another maintenance worker. "So you fix air conditioning," she teased gently. "Life support systems," Harry corrected with mock indignation. "I keep several hundred beings from various toxic atmospheres alive. It's slightly more complex than air conditioning." "I stand corrected." Her laugh was like music, a melodic sound that seemed to harmonize with itself, definitely not human. Harry found himself opening up in ways he never did with strangers. He told her about growing up in New Beijing, about his fascination with the stars, about the loneliness of being one of only 17 humans on a station of thousands. "Don't you have friends here?" Honey asked. "Acquaintances, sure, but most species still see us as the new kids. Humanity is barely a blip in galactic history. We don't have the technology, the culture, or the respect yet." Honey tilted her head thoughtfully. "Respect isn't given based on age or technology. It's earned through actions, through character." "Tell that to the Vrax delegation," Harry muttered. "They won't even share an elevator with me." "The Vrax are traditional," Honey said carefully. "They'll come around." They sat in comfortable silence for a while, watching a patrol ship glide past the station. Harry couldn't remember the last time he'd felt this comfortable with anyone. "I should probably ask," Harry ventured, "what species are you? I don't want to be rude, but I can't place the phenotype." Honey's smile turned enigmatic. "I'm Luminian." Harry's coffee thermos slipped from his hand. It bounced on the deck with a metallic clang, coffee spreading in a dark pool. "Luminians, the eldest of the elder races. the species that had achieved faster-than-light travel when humans were still painting on cave walls. They controlled a third of the galaxy, commanded technology that seemed like magic, and were so far above other species that they barely participated in galactic politics. And their ruler, their queen, was the most powerful single entity in known space. Harry's mouth went dry, you're Luminian. I did just say that. Honey seemed amused by his reaction. But you're here on Meridian Station, dressed like... He gestured helplessly at her simple clothes. Like an ordinary person, Honey finished. Why not? I wanted to see the nebula. Harry's mind was racing. Luminians rarely left their territory. When they did, it was with massive security details, diplomatic fanfare, and weeks of advanced notice. The entire station would have been in lockdown if a Luminian dignitary was visiting. Unless... Oh no, Harry whispered. Oh no, no, no. Honey raised an eyebrow. Something wrong. You're not just Luminian, you're... He couldn't even say it, his hands were shaking. She waited patiently. The golden shimmer, the perfect humanoid features, the fact that you're here without security because you don't need security. Harry stood up abruptly, backing away. You're Queen Honeylux, sovereign of the Luminian expanse, keeper of the eternal flame, commander of... Yes, yes, all of that. Queen Honeylux waved a hand dismissively. The titles go on for about 10 more minutes. Can we skip that part? Harry wasn't sure his legs were working properly. He tried to bow, half-collapsed, caught himself on a railing. Your Majesty, I apologize, I didn't. I should have known. I'm so sorry. For what? Having a conversation? The Queen stood, brushing off her pants. Harry, sit down, you're going to hurt yourself. I can't just sit with the Queen of the Luminians. Harry's voice had gone up an octave. There are protocols, diplomatic procedures. I called you Honey. That is my name, the personal one anyway. She gently guided him back to the bench. Breathe, Harry, you're going into shock. I showed you pictures of my dog. He was very cute. The brown spots on his ears were adorable. Harry's mind flashed back through their conversation, cataloging every casual comment, every joke, every moment he'd treated her like an ordinary person. He'd complained about the Vrax to the Queen of the Luminians. He'd explained human plumbing to her. He'd made a pun about Schrödinger's cat. I'm going to be executed, he muttered, or mind-wiped, or thrown into a diplomatic incident that starts a war. Honey's expression softened. Harry, look at me. He did, though it took all his courage. I came here anonymously because I wanted one evening where someone would talk to me like a person, not a title. Do you understand? You gave me something precious. You treated me like I was ordinary. She paused. Well, until you figured it out. Your pattern recognition is quite good, by the way. Why me? Harry asked weakly. Random chance initially. I saw someone sitting alone, looking at the stars with the kind of wonder most beings lose after their first century. I was curious. She smiled. And then I found you interesting. You're clever, kind, and passionate about keeping people alive, even people who won't share an elevator with you. Harry didn't know what to say. His entire worldview was reorganizing itself. What happens now? He finally asked. Honey considered this. Now I finish watching the nebula. Tomorrow I have a diplomatic summit that will bore me to tears. But tonight, for a few more minutes, I'm just Honey and you're just Harry, and we're just two people watching the stars. She sat back down, patting the bench beside her. After a moment of paralyzed hesitation, Harry sat. His hands were still shaking. They watched the nebula in silence. Gradually, Harry's heartbeat slowed. The Queen of the Luminians was sitting next to him. The most powerful being in the galaxy had chosen to spend her evening talking to a human technician about dogs and life support systems. For what it's worth, Honey said quietly, I think humanity will do just fine in the galactic community. You have something most ancient species have lost. What's that? The ability to see people, not just power structures, to find wonder in a nebula at 3 in the morning, to treat a queen like she's ordinary. She glanced at him. Those qualities matter more than technology or age. Harry felt something shift in his chest, a strange mixture of pride and possibility. "Your Majesty," he began. "Honey," she corrected. "Honey," Harry said, the name feeling both forbidden and right. Would you want to meet here again, next cycle?" The Queen of the Luminians smiled, and for a moment the stars themselves seemed dimmer by comparison. "I'd like that very much, Harry." They sat together until the station's artificial dawn began to brighten the viewport. Two beings from impossibly different worlds, finding common ground in the infinite space between the stars. And Harry, the unremarkable human technician, learned that sometimes the most extraordinary moments come disguised as ordinary ones. You just have to be brave enough to recognize them when they arrive.